Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here at Commodity TV. And today we have a world premiere, I would call it, Carnavale Resources. For the first time here at Commodity TV, and with us is Humphrey Hale, the managing geologist of the company, who wants to give us an insight. So, hi and good day to Australia. Humphrey, how are you?
Hi, Joachim. Yes, I'm very well, thank you.
Super, perfect. Yeah, so as it's very early in the morning and you probably see it a bit on my face, but this is no problem at all. So let's start with the interview. Carnavale Resources, where are you based? Obviously Australia, but what are you doing and what's going on?
Yeah, we're based in Australia, and we have 4 major projects in Western Australia, which in this environment right now where people are not traveling, it is perfect. And in gold and nickel, you couldn't ask for anything better, really. At this, they're the trendy elements to be in. My background is a geologist, so we just follow the good projects, I guess.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. I mean, gold and nickel, you just named it. That is fantastic because gold is the insurance for assets. Very simple. And nickel, it looks a little bit like this is the metal you want or is a must-have for the new battery technology, as Tesla calls it with Elon Musk. And yeah, let's have a short look on your project. So let's get started with the Kookynie gold project. Where is it? What's going on there?
Right. Well, Kookynie, as we say in Australia.
Sorry.
I think it's an Aboriginal word.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 hours north of Kalgoorlie, sort of central in Western Australia,
mm-hmm.
and it's an old mining camp. So historically, back at the turn of the 19th century, we had a lot of prospectors going up there, and they would mine the high-grade gold shoots. And after a while, those were worked down to the water table,
mm-hmm.
And they got left for a bit, and they weren't really the target of the major gold companies such as Newmont, Anglo, and those sorts of companies. So we managed to get onto the project there through a prospector, and the area that we have is has a good deal of alluvial cover over the top, which made it hard for the old timers, the old explorers, to get into. So with our view of modern exploration and the association with the granite there, we think we can uncover some new discoveries. And locally to us, we see metallicity and Genesis and GTI Resources drilling and exploring pretty aggressively through there. Metallicity, for instance, have been very successful at their Leopold and McTavish prospects, which are hundreds of meters away from our ground. We have 25 square kilometers in there, and we're pretty excited about getting on the ground very soon.
Mm-hmm, fantastic. And you have also a 12-month option agreement to acquire 80%, right? So what do you have to do to fulfill that agreement?
Well, we have 12 months to do our work programs on the ground, and after 12 months, if we are very happy with what we found there, then we can continue working there and buy the option out by paying 250 grand plus some shares to the guy who we've got the option with.
Mm-hmm, fantastic. So what would be the next steps on the ground? As you said, you want to go back very soon to drilling. How many meters you want to drill, to what depths you want to go down, but what is the target you want to achieve, let's say, in the next 6 to 9 months is there?
Yeah, so right now we've got a guy who's literally traveling to site today, and he will start a number of soil programs on the areas where there's a residual soil profile, and they just happen to be along strike from our neighbours with their high-grade deposits. And at the beginning of November, we have about the 9th of November, fingers crossed, all going well, we'll be running a detailed aeromagnetic survey, which will outline all of the structures that we see underneath the alluvial material on the tenements. And then 3 weeks later, at the end of November, we've got a 3-week program of air core drilling for 6,000 meters, which will go down to about, I'm guessing, somewhere in the order of 50 to 70 meters. And this will test these gold-bearing structures running through our tenement and hopefully give us the RC drill targets that we're looking for.
Great.
That one, high-grade gold.
When you say alluvial, cover. Would that mean that there is a chance that you can start alluvial mining to make some cash first and then to move on? Do I get that right? No. Okay.
It's true. The word is correct. So what's happened is that where the old timers were, you have outcrop, and they've managed to find the quartz veins, and they put shafts down on those quartz veins. The central part of our tenement has an active fluvial system that runs through it. In Australia, we say active. It doesn't have any water in it, but when it floods, when we do get rare rain, this is the area where it goes through. And there's a lot of sand and gravel materials that make soil sampling and traditional methods of prospecting impossible. There might be a bit of alluvial gold in there, but certainly nothing on a commercial scale that would suit us.
I see. Okay, good, perfect. Then let's move to the next project, Ora Banda South Gold Project. And I see already there are some red drilling results from previous explorers. So can you comment a bit on that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So Ora Banda South is an hour north of Kalgoorlie, and is also an old mining camp area. So a lot of gold has been produced in this area, in this region. The bit that we have has the Black Flag group sediments and the Carnage shear that separates the Black Flag from the Currawong sediments. And that is a late sedimentary basin environment. So historically, people didn't really think that was a good area to be looking or exploring for gold. And so subsequently, there hasn't been a lot of exploration on the ground, except in the southern portions of the tenement. The geological model that we're looking at is similar to Goldfields' Invincible mine, which is in the St Ives mining camp, and that project is over 2 million ounces at 4 grams. So we see the same geological setting, the same orientation of structures, and except where we are is undercover and was unfashionable up until about 3 years ago. In the southern area of the tenements, there has been some RC drilling and some air core. And at the end of one line of drilling, there was 16 meters at 1 gram, and that's open to the north where the majority of our tenements are. So it's pretty exciting, really. And as you go to the north, again, similar to Kookynie, it's got a layer of transported material or alluvial cover that makes it hard for old-time explorers to really understand and get going in there. So our plan is to get hold of the data set, work up the targets with the aeromag, with the geochem, and then get drilling and exploring early next year, coming after the first phase of the Kookynie drilling.
Okay, but this is all greenfield drilling, right?
It would be classed, greenfields, and it's pretty exciting at this time, Jock. And we've had this uplift in the market, and we've had companies getting funded to do greenfields, which I think is awesome. It's been a long while coming. We've got a great team of geos within the board and technically, and we found some pretty exciting targets to get our teeth into.
Okay, super. Let's move to nickel and to the Grey Dam Nickel Sulphide project. And by the way, the question, how did you come on the one hand on gold and on the other hand then to the nickel projects? Because that's two different worlds, I would call it.
It is two different worlds. And oftentimes nickel and gold can be found in the same spot. So who knows? And Western Australia is famous for both nickel and gold, and it's boomed in nickel and it's boomed in gold. When I first started this company, I've not been with the company too long, only early July, so late June, I started with the company. And our Grey Dam project was being worked up for drilling. And we had some great geochem, we had some really good magnetics and some great geology that pointed towards nickel sulphide at depth. And so we did some electromagnetic surveys that identified both geochem, geology, and a magnetic signature. So in August, we started a drill program, and we drilled 7 holes to 1,700 meters in total. And so I think they went down maximum of 400 meters to test those EM targets. Now, all of those samples are in the lab, and we haven't seen any results yet. So fingers crossed, we should start to see some results in the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic.
So that was our first project, and then Mount Alexander is another nickel project that we had up close to St. George mining, and now that is a different style of nickel mineralization. It's a nickel cobalt platinoid type mineralization, which is a new model, and St. George mining have been very successful in finding some of these high grade hits. They are in the process of trying to put together a resource, I guess, and we are following a similar geological model up there, and we're in early stage exploration. So we've done a program of ultrafine fraction soils, which is a -2 micron soil sample, which is all the rage these days, and that's been quite successful in identifying some of the structures from a geochemical point of view. So we've got a geochemical anomalism through Mount Alexander, and we've planned moving loop EM surveys to go across those nickel anomalies. So that's quite exciting. So those are the nickel projects. And then we, in about 8 weeks ago, we had a discussion with a chap called Brian Alexander, who brought us these gold projects. And we looked at those with great excitement, and we grabbed them with both hands, because we felt that they had some great potential for high-grade gold. And the market certainly has appreciated those acquisitions, and we're moving forward.
Fantastic. Then, of course, let's talk about money and the company, because that's also very important. It looks like you have some very exciting projects here, and also it looks to me like that we can get through some good work, a lot of positive surprises, I have the feeling, because I saw also with that with the nickel project with Grey Dam, that you went only down, not you, but the previous guys went only down to 70 meters, which is like, I would call just scratch the surface. That's it, yeah. So probably you expect to find some better structures and better geology, even if you are going more into depths, right?
Well, we hope so. We do hope so, Jochen. But the original target there was a nickel laterite, and so that's a surface nickel deposit, and it was high in cobalt, and so there's a defined nickel cobalt lateritic resource there. Our thoughts were, if we see copper, if we see platinum, we can get underneath it, and we might find nickel sulphide at depth. And this is what our targeting was all about. So that's where we went with that. So moving more towards now the funding, finance, and how we're going to go forward with executing our programs. Obviously, we've got an aggressive program at Kookynie, and we want to get into Banda, and that all costs money. And luckily for us, our share price has improved with the market, with the reinvigoration of the company and new blood into the company, and the acquisition of these projects. And so we had a package of options that was due to expire at the end of September for 2.7 million Aussie dollars. And that got completely converted. So the company has seen nearly $3 million come into the treasury, which will allow us to develop and explore these greenfields, exciting targets.
And that money will last, let's say, this year and next year. Do you think so?
Yeah. So it depends on how fast I spend it.
That's right.
And time is of essence always. We want to press on as fast as we can. We don't want to overspend where we don't need to, where the results aren't needing us. So we will be careful about how we spend on our projects. But that funding will see us over 18 months, I would say, and we hope to get success. Now, if we have success, of course, we'll charge on and we'll go to the market to help us develop those new successes. But at this stage, we would say a year to 18 months comfortably.
Question also about the issued capital, because you have over 2 billion shares out. Do you want to do a share consolidation soon, or is it just like the Australian way, because you love to have billions of shares out?
2 billion shares, it's a big number, isn't it? And if you say it quickly, it sort of disappears. No, that's right. And it's a function of the company. It started in 2007. It financed its way through equity raisings along the way. And then we sit here at 2 billion shares. It does mean that our share price is in the 1 cent range or 2 cent range. Let's hope it with success. At some point, if we're going to do anything in the future, we might have to do a consolidation. But at this point in time, I don't think we need to. I think people like to invest in the small digits. It seems fun. I don't know. From my point of view as managing the company and managing the exploration and making value for shareholders, I don't think we need to do anything with the share structure just yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What I really like to see is that the directors have approximately 8% of the company. Yeah, is that still correct? I think, and the top 20 are holding 57%. This is what I found in your presentation.
That is correct. That's on our current presentation, and that is absolutely correct. So our directors all converted their options, which wasn't hard, as they were certainly well into the money, and we got strong support from our existing shareholders who are also option holders. We're invested. You know, the board is invested in the outcome of the company, so that's always a great driver for success.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and for me, it's also a guarantee that you are not walking away and running away, because I love when the management has skin in the game. That's super important. I always want to have you guys fully aligned with all the other shareholders. That's really important. And
you spend the money in the best way possible. You know, you don't waste it. It's like it's your own money, and shareholders are extremely important to our company. Mm-hmm. And the aim of doing all of this is to make value for our shareholders, and we're always very conscious of that.
Fantastic. That was a great final sentence. Humphrey, thank you very much for the interview. Very interesting. I have to do some more due diligence on your company, and wish you all the best and a lot of success, of course.
Thank you very much, Jochen.
Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Humphrey Hale, the Managing Geologist of Carnavale Resources. Yeah, you heard it. Small company, lots of shares out, but this is the Australian way, and they like it, of course. And but still, the share price seems to be quite low. The valuation seems to be quite low, and the work program really starts now in November. And so we expect, of course, a lot of news flow from the company. And gold and nickel, those are really two metals you want to have in your portfolio. This is the place to be, definitely, for the next years. And yeah, let's see what they will find and how the drilling is going. But I have quite a good feeling after talking to Humphrey here that we will get some positive surprises. So maybe you should check out the company. Wish you all the best. Stay healthy in those fancy times. That's the most important thing. And thanks and bye-bye from Switzerland and also to Australia.